Hello, guys. We'll give people a few minutes to come in, and I just wanted to thank everybody who watches this on the replay. We love it when you replay and listen to especially when you're having an interview. I do have Anne Marie's link in the description box, and if I get a moderator in, if you guys would put up her link out in the chat, that'd be awesome too. Welcome in, CC's Texas Garden.
Hi, Cece.
So we'll just give a few minutes for the notification to come on. So not too much today. I went to church, watched a little bit of TV, and then I worked on my interview questions. And my husband bought stuff for strawberry shortcake. So
my favorite.
He didn't get the fresh strawberries, but it was still good. But I just thawed some strawberries on a plate so they'd be, thawed enough I could cut them. And then I just made one, and then he took my daughter home right after that. So anyway, took her back to her mama. So yeah, strawberry shortcake. Yeah, and there'll be enough for us to have another one a different day. Hello, Autumn. How are you? So I can't wait for the fresh strawberries, though. That'll be nice. My strawberries died off last year, so I think I'm going to try to replant them. They could possibly still come back, but I don't think they're going to. So I don't know what I did wrong, but something. I asked if I needed to cover them all the way, and the people in the gardening were telling me not to. So I took their instruction, but now I feel like that raised planter, I probably should have went ahead and covered the whole thing, possibly.
Hi, Autumn.
So
I just shared you out on my Facebook too. So
yeah, I shared on both my channels a little bit ago. I do that. Yeah, I'm hoping I'll get some more strawberries this year. In the year I had them, my ants were trying to attack, so I've got to be straight on ant warfare just as soon as everything starts. But I've got a few different things I'm going to try, and I think I'm going to finally get it. Hopefully, we'll see.
Is there something that you can plant to deter the ants? Or
There's a whole list of them. As a matter of fact, that's a great idea. I need to take that list and make it in a little short video. That could be helpful to other people besides just me. I think I'm going to do that. I know catnip was on the list, and I want to say thyme maybe.
That deters them or that draws them to another plant?
Deters them. But yeah, I wouldn't mind.
There's something that you can plant.
They'll go to that instead.
Yeah, like draw them away from where you don't want them.
Yeah, I would like to know that too. Maybe I can do a little research and put all that into a video. That'd be a good piece of video content that I could do without, pulling out a whole bunch of stuff and making a recipe. That would be so much easier. Just pull it out, because I've been gathering information all winter because they attacked my loofah last year. And people that say the ants aren't destructive, you're totally wrong. It destroyed the leaves and the soil.
Yeah, not just the ants. I know marigolds. Darn cats. Marigolds, if you put marigolds out, it deters bugs. I don't know which all ones anymore because it's been years since I planted. But
yeah, I think it said
marigolds and
worms, squash bugs, and there's one more. There's another
lavender is the other one that you plant around your garden and it deters something, but I can't remember what.
Yeah, I do plan on planting lavender this year. I actually bought a pack and my mom wanted to plant some. So I just took the pack and I split it in half. But I was making up seeds for Simply Jan Homestead's meetup that she's going to do. I was making up seed packets where I had, some seeds I wasn't going to use, and I would just take it and split it in half so two different people could have that seed. And so I just sat down on the floor at the coffee table and just sat down there and did that. And then I think when I get my income tax money, I'm going to add a few store-bought seeds to that as well, full packs of seeds. And I'm just going to try to pick something that's really, really popular. I might even do some kind of a poll to see what's popular with everybody these days. Because everybody's all over the place. People planting so many different things. It's hard to know what's the popular thing right now.
For me, I'm it's only me here, so I'm only going to plant the stuff I know I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
Same thing with the fruit trees and the fruit bushes and stuff. I won't eat pears, so I'm not going to plant pears.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. All right. So anybody who has the ability to share, if you would share on your community tab, we would appreciate it very much. And if I have a moderator, if you would put Big Dreams, Tiny Budgets link in the chat, that'd be awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and start the interview. So how long have you been on YouTube?
Since 2018. It was.
Thank you, Jan.
I want to say I started putting content out in June of 2018.
Yeah. So it's been 5 years, 4 years, 4.5 years.
Golly, yeah. Almost 5 years this June.
So it's been a while since I've been caught up on what you have going on your homestead. So what rooms have you worked through now at this point? Because it was still pretty rough when I saw it, but that's
pretty rough.
I mean, you were putting your foot through the bathroom floor last time I was.
No, I have a bathroom floor now.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But I don't have bathroom walls. That belongs right there. There's supposed to be a wall out here. That area right there is my bathroom. But I stopped working on the bathroom so I could finish off the kitchen. Yeah. So that's where I'm working now, is putting in new windows and putting in my kitchen.
Do you have is your bathroom workable? Like, do you have the toilet and a sink and a bathtub and shower? No,
I don't have water here.
No water?
No water. So I towed in all my water in 1 gallon jugs. And then I have a compost toilet. But the water situation is going to change very soon because I am getting a well. I'm super jazzed. So that's supposed to happen within the next 90 days. And then once I have a well, it's like a total game changer here. I can plant plants. I can have chickens. I can have bunnies. I can have a bathroom in the kitchen and, all that stuff. But
yeah. So do you eat out a lot because you don't have a working kitchen either?
No, I have, I mainly cook in my Instant Pot. I have an air fryer and I have an induction burner. So I've had, I cook all my meals at home. I don't, but rarely go out maybe once a month and grab something.
Yeah, that sounds like us. It's
too expensive.
We mostly eat at home. Yeah, I know. For the price of just getting a fast food chicken tenders or McDonald's something, you could make a whole entire meal that's way better for you.
Well, and like I can make a pot of soup or a pot of chili for like $5 and eat all week, compared to $15 at Burger King.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not the Burger King without stopping. So there's that. I just try not to go to towns where there's Burger King, and I'm good.
Burger King's your kryptonite.
Burger King is the only fast food restaurant that I'll eat at, and if it's an hour and a half away, so it's not like I go there maybe once. I think the last time I went to Burger King was at the Kentucky meetup last September. So
yeah. What do you got going on your kitchen remodeling?
Right now I just got done designing it. So, cause I had to, cement my design plan so I know where to run the new electric. And for those that don't know, I'm like completely remodeling a mobile home, like new wiring, new plumbing, new flooring, new sheetrock, new insulation, everything.
And you're doing
So,
almost all of it by yourself, right? Except for when you
pretty much by myself, except for when I think that I'm she-woman and I find out that I'm not, like when I'm putting in the window, I couldn't lift it by myself. So I had to call a friend and have them come out to fill in the gaping hole in my house. But yeah, pretty much by myself. I had some people come out, Simply Jan and O'Rourke's homestead. They came out and helped me do the rim joist because I tried to she-woman that by myself and couldn't. But and I'll probably have to have a work party come out to help me do the sheathing on the outside when I do it. But yeah, but the rest of it, yeah, I'm doing it by myself. So right now I am at putting insulation back in the kitchen walls, and then I have to replace all the subfloor in there, which is gross and disgusting, but
yeah,
it's got to get done. So, and then once I have the flooring in, I could start getting my cabinets and having a kitchen for the first time in 5 years.
that would be nice. So
yeah.
do you actually cook in the kitchen, or do you just have like a little cabinet in the living room where you set up your little appliance?
I've just moved it from the kitchen over to the living room so I could work on the kitchen area. But I'm working off my island, or what will be my kitchen island once the kitchen's done, and a sink basin with a little bar sink in it that goes into a bucket underneath that I have to dump every time I use it. So it's kind of a pain, but
yeah,
I mean, just to have running water in the house would be so amazing. Like right now, when I have to wash my hands, I take a 1 gallon bucket and pour it over one hand and wash it, and then pour it over the other hand to wash it. So
yeah,
it'll be really nice to have running water.
yeah. I have one of those plastic things that you would wash dishes in if you were having trouble. I have one like as a backup plan in case something happens, and it's just on top of my china hutch there, and it's actually got stuff in it, but I know it's there. And really, you need two. You really need two.
I have 3 of them. The white buckets that you put in your sink. I have 3 of those. I put hot soapy water in one, and then water in the other 2 because I rinse. And then, but that water starts to get soapy, so then that becomes my dishwater later. And then, but yeah, I go through 3 buckets.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you had to ship all your water in, it would go from hand washing to dishwashing to flushing the toilet or something. I don't know. I would think you would use it in stages or whatever.
No, once I wash the dishes with it, it goes out. It waters the garden or, whatever's growing outside because I haven't planted anything on purpose. But
yeah, I was going to ask you about gardening, but you've already answered that question that you're not going to be able to really do gardening until you get your.
Now, I have my garden bed set up. They're cinder block raised bed gardens, and they're in the lot across the street from me. And I wanted to do gardening, but collecting rainwater here turned into a whole fiasco. That trying to collect it off of the mini gutters off the mobile home is not working out. And so then I decided to do the well route. Well, I'm glad I didn't plant over there because that's where they're drilling the well. So they're going to drill it across the street and then plumb it underneath the road back over to my house. And so they would have had to, they would have destroyed any fruit trees or whatever that I would have planted over there. So now I'll wait until after the well is in, and then I'll come back and plant the fruit trees.
So your patience is paid off. Do you have fruit trees already on your property?
No. I have pecan trees, hickory, walnut, and filbert, I think, that are in the forest on another plot that I own right next to me, but nothing that I planted here. But I have them in my shopping cart ready to order because, thank you, Nisi. I have them in my shopping cart ready to order. So as soon as I could save up the $150, I'll be buying some. They won't ship them out until late March here. And then they're bare roots, so I can kind of hang on to them until after the well's drilled.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the plan anyhow.
That sounds like a good plan. Do you have any? So you're not. How many dogs do you have?
Two.
Two. Okay. So you're not gonna. Are you planning to get animals later? Like once you get your well done and everything?
Yeah, for now, to begin with, I'll just get bunnies and chickens because that's what I already know. And I don't want to overwhelm myself with trying to learn or relearn. Like we were talking about, I haven't gardened in like 4 years. So
Oh,
I need to kind of relearn some of the planting stuff. So I don't want to overwhelm myself. So once I get the chickens and the bunnies, and I may get pigs someday, but and I'd love to get goats, but I don't think that's going to happen. So
yeah, goats sound like they would be fun.
they
But
sound
you gotta
like
keep
they'd
them
be
nice
fun,
and
but it's just me here. So I don't want to, overwhelm myself with too much. So
welcome in photos against anxiety. What is the purpose of goats? See, we know chicken's purpose, we know rabbit's purpose, but what is the
goat
purpose
milk,
of goats?
goat milk, goat cheese, goat meat. I don't know if I'd eat goat meat, but I would if I was hungry enough. So.
Yeah, I kind of was cringy on the inside when you said that. I was like, oh,
I know people do it,
but it's tough, but maybe not. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, but for now, it's just going to be bunnies, and the bunnies are going to be for the poop, not for the meat.
Yeah, that's what I would have bunnies for too, is for gardening, because bunny poo you can put on the garden like right away, whereas chicken manure you have to leave it on there for 3 or 4 months before you can plant in it. So that would be nice just to be able to have. I would think it'd be neat to have a bucket right under their cage where some would just fall in there.
I was on Southern Bless Homesteads, and they were. I said, why can't we just build the bunny hutch right over the top of the garden bed? And then they said that somebody did it. So I might check into that because I have the raised garden beds across the street. So I might be able to just build a big 4x8 hutch over the top that, the bunny poop just goes right onto. But then how would it get sunshine, or I don't know. So
it would have to be movable to where it could sit there all winter and just be the bunny poo gold that it is, and then you'd have to be able to move it. It would have to be movable.
Yeah, so maybe if they were put on wheels
that way, just have it right over the thing. But it would have to be totally a movable situation.
Because again, it's just me here, so the less work I have to do, to get food and whatever, the better off it'd be, I think. But I'm all for less work.
I was wondering where the pork chops thing. I was like, is that a reference to the goat meat? But it's not. Niecy's making pork chops.
It was the pig comment. I want the bacon, man.
That's funny because I'm actually going to have pork chops for dinner too. It's actually what's thawing right now. So, do you hunt, Anne Marie?
Not yet.
Not yet.
She's going to be a pain. Not yet. I have all the gear to go hunting, but I don't want to go out by myself for the first time. So I have a class that I'm taking in April, the hunter's safety class thing. And then after that, I want to go out with friends first that know what they're doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, let me go let her out. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's fine. Welcome in Life with Belinda and Chuck. Hi, Niecy. Let's see. Our dogs are barking at the dog barking. That's funny. Oh, was Jan sick? Were you sick, Jan? So if you have the ability to share, if you would share off this live, that would be awesome.
Hi, Belinda and Chuck.
More people in here. So I asked you about hunting. Well, what kind of hunting do you want to do when you actually are going to go do that? What are you planning on?
Deer. Because they're bigger. I don't think I could hit a bunny. So it'll probably be deer.
I watched them do that on Alone, this show called Alone, a survival show. And that was hard. when they held it like a little pet, it was so cute. But when they were holding it like it was just like a dangling piece of meat, I was like, oh, that's terrible. How you don't disrespect the bunny. I mean, I was like, I know. I'm such a city girl.
Well,
I
and
didn't realize how much of a city girl I was until I started hanging out with the homesteaders. And I'm like, I'm totally a city girl. I will eat my chickens if I have to, but
I would eat the chickens.
I prefer not to.
And the bunnies, my only hesitation with that is that Thumper was my mom's like idol. She quoted as Thumper stuff the whole time I was growing up. And when I think of a bunny, that's what I think of is Thumper. And then my pet bunny back in Washington was a mini lop. And I couldn't have eaten her, but I guess it's the same as, like if you have laying hens and you have meat birds, the meat birds are just going to be dinner. You don't think of it. So you don't name them, none of that stuff. So it might be different with bunnies, but that's my only hesitation is I think of my mom when I see those cute little bunnies.
Yeah. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing
at all.
Yep, that's the one I remember the most.
Yep.
Oh, a liver cleanse. That sounds intense. Just ate some venison. Hi, native wild man. I'm hoping my husband will get to go deer hunting next year, but we're technically still eating off of deer from the year before because we mix it in with other things that we have. So.
Well, see, and I still have to buy another deep freezer because I left mine in Washington. So, doing that stuff right now, I have nowhere to store the meat. So it's just kind of like on the back burner until after I get the house pretty much at least a bathroom and a kitchen in here.
Don't get attached to your food. I know.
You don't name your food.
Yeah. My chickens are pets. But if I get hungry enough, I will eat them. I'm not that cuckoo.
If they're pigs, then you name them stuff like pork chop or bacon or whatever.
Yeah, because then oh, that seems like that wouldn't work. Okay, because I would still get attached to pork chop and hamburger and bacon. I would still get very attached because I watched Lisa on Yogi Hollow Farm do it. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if somebody gives it to me, I will eat it, but I'm not, well, even when my dad and my brother when my dad went hunting when I was young, they would hang the tree in the backyard. They'd string it up and, gut it and do all that stuff in the backyard. So, and we would look out to say something and it would be there and that was normal. But I didn't stand out there and watch or anything. But by the time they brought it in, we would clean off the kitchen table, and it would already be cut to where we could start, processing it either through the grinder or cutting it in steak pieces or whatever we were going to do. And there was a family of 6, and we all had a job and processed the deer right there on the kitchen table, and and packaged it up and everything. So it was a family thing. So though we may have lived in the city, we always had a garden and my dad always hunted. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my grandpa always hunted and my mom and my aunts learned how to hunt. But when it came to me, and I think my older sister went hunting a couple times with my dad, but I am left eye dominant and right-handed. And so I was just always told, no, you can't shoot a gun because of that, because I couldn't see it. And then I learned that when I shoot left-handed, I hit the target every time. So it's just a matter of relearning.
They say women are easier to teach than men because we don't have as much ego in the way. And so like when I went hunting, it was probably like 8 or 10 years ago, and I got a deer, and it's my brother taxidermied it for me and everything. Anyway, I haven't been back in a while. I would, but my husband's having a hard enough time getting himself out there to hunt. So I figure it's more important for him to go than me. So hopefully my brother will get to take him next year. But
Yeah.
Anyway, but I named him. His name is Bruiser, but he hangs in the living room.
I had my grandpa's deer for a long time hanging in my house, but the skin started to peel. He was like 60 years old. And so the skin started to peel back from the taxidermy. And so I finally got rid of him. We think we know it all already. And if we don't, we're loath to admit it. Yep.
Yeah.
I used to tell my ex-husband, I don't need to know everything. You know everything. So I don't need to know anything. I'll just ask you when I need to know something. So mad.
That's so funny. Jason always has those little tidbits of information. Hello, Ark Wildman. Welcome in Green Country Agroforestry. Say hi to your wife, Mary, if she's there. Yeah. People, I make those little short videos where I ask people what it is growing in my yard. Well, that's my way of learning, right? So I remember last year I did one and I found out I had yarrow growing in my backyard. And a couple of days ago, I did one and found out I had henbit in my yard because I wanted to make sure it was something that was safe to feed the chickens or whatever. So they're like, why don't you download the app? Well, why would I do that when I could get it confirmed by 12 or 13 or 20 different YouTubers?
Here's the thing. I have that Plant ID app and I forget to have my phone out there with me. I never use it.
Did it cost you money?
I think I paid for it one time fee or something, and it was.
See, that's what people keep telling me, and I'm like, why am I going to pay for it? I have YouTube.
Well, and it's a way to interact with people too. So
I'd
rather take a picture and post it than.
Yeah, so I just make a little video, and then I have it confirmed by a bunch of different people,
But
and by the end, you're like,
because.
And then I remember it and see, and I wait a little while and let people forget. And then I wait a few months and I'll ask them about another little weed that's in my garden to see if those are weeds I want to let grow or not.
Well, and Jan came out here. We were trying to figure out what this weed was that's growing in my compost, not my compost pile, but in the topsoil that I got brought over. There's some huge thorny weed that's out there. And I think we figured it out, but I can't remember what they said. So if I had a video, I could always go back to that video and go, yeah, that's what it was.
That's what I do. It works for me. I'll see. And it's always a little tiny short video, like a minute or two at the most. And so lots of people, like 110 people watch that video. And guys really love to play the game. What is this? Because there's a lot. If you look, there's a lot of men answering the question. They're like, "Oh, it's a game." So they go on there and they answer it, and then and then when you hear it 10, 20 different times, you're like, "Okay, I know for sure that's what that is." And then all I have to do is remember it. One year I had planted my garden, and
I'll be right back. I'm still listening.
Okay. I had planted something in my garden and I had this yellow stuff in there. So I put out a video and asked what it was. And Jason from Green Country Agroforestry answered it and said it was dog vomit slime mold. And so I remember that now. So if it happens again.
Wait, what is it? Dog vomit slime mold?
Dog vomit slime mold. It's yellow. It's yellow. To me, it looks like a yellowed cauliflower. It's kind of bumpy. It's bumpy and it has a yellow tinge to it. But now I know what yarrow is, I know what henbit is, and I know what dog vomit slime mold is. This is how I learn. I just ask YouTube and they tell me what I want to know. You're making me smarter every time you answer my videos.
And everything that's out here is all new to me. The plants out here in the Midwest are totally different than the plants on the West Coast. And even the plants in Washington State were totally different than the plants I knew in California. And so I have to relearn it all.
Yeah, that's right. I was asking because I didn't want to be feeding my chickens some kind of weed that was poisonous to them. That was my main purpose. But now that I know it, then I'll remember it.
Well, and I was told that if it's poisonous to the hens, they pretty much know it and they won't eat it, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I probably that sounds right. That God would give them the knowledge to know. Oh, you're not supposed to eat that. Welcome in,
Or
Lori's
it's
World. How are
repulsive
you?
to them or something in some way, because you think
Yeah,
about, I mean, we just free ranged our hens. They ate whatever and none of them died. So yeah, I
yeah.
don't know that I'll be able to do that here because there's too many dogs running around. But
Yeah, my friend was asking me, why don't you let them free range to get the weeds? I said, well, they would eat the plant too, so that wouldn't work.
yeah.
But yeah, that's good in theory, but only if you're doing it not in season. Like right now, I could do it. I could let them go around and eat it.
Well, in my garden will all be fenced in because of the deer here. So, you know, after the season's over, I can always just let the hens free range in the whole garden area for a while. And
I'm trying to start getting my beds ready for gardening. So I had been since the fall, I've been composting with chicken manure and all kinds of cool stuff. And so, but now it's getting a little warmer in Texas, so it's trying to grow the weeds. So I'm having to pull the weeds out, and then I'm going to have to get my husband next weekend to set up the tiller so I can till in all the stuff I've been composting with and get it ready for.
you don't cover them with black plastic until you're ready to plant.
No, I cover them with leaves.
Yeah, but if you cover all that with black plastic, it'll help cook this stuff underneath it, and it'll keep anything from growing until you get ready to plant in it. So
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I didn't actually think of that, but I have been, so if it gets in there well enough, then I'll leave, I'll just till the leaves in there and they'll break apart and eventually they'll become something it can use. But
I didn't have to mulch my garden beds. Nature did it for me because
you got nice virgin soil there, because none of the nutrients have been used out of it. No,
I had to bring in soil because where I'm planting at, where I get the most sun, I had to do raised beds because it's all rock underneath there. So I had to order soil and have it brought in. And yeah, nothing's been planted in it yet, but it's still, I need to add manure and stuff like that in it before I can start planting in it. So yeah. I don't know that I might get to do a fall garden, but I don't know that I'll get to do a spring one.
Yeah, I've been working on it for a while. We got we had really bad hailstorm last year, and it pretty much took most of the leaves out in our front big tree that we had. So I paid daughter to rake all the leaves up and put it into garden bags. And so I had all those leaves. So they've been composting, and getting the moisture and everything for the whole entire season. And so hopefully, they've partially broken down to where it's soaked in something that they actually need. I'm hoping.
On Green Country, we had ducks in Washington, and you can turn your ducks loose in your garden like in the middle of the season, and ducks will go after the bugs first. And then, like the salads, it's like a side salad to them. So they'll go after the bugs on your plants first before they'll eat your plants. And they're great for pest control. I hear the cold dip.
You're in Texas too. Do you like fishing, Anne Marie?
I do not know how to fish.
You don't?
I mean, I want to. I've been fishing, but my ex-husband always cleaned them, and I didn't know how to clean them, and I don't. Yeah, so it's another thing I want to learn, and it's ridiculous because there's, I think, 7 lakes around me where I could go fishing at. Mm-hmm. And I love eating fish. I love cooking fish, but I have not learned how to fish. So I want to learn.
Well, you need to go with Kevin. You need to go with.
I know. I got to get Kevin and Jan down here to go fishing, and then
they can teach you the basic stuff. And
but my fishing pole is actually back in Washington, so I have to buy a new one. Put them out in the corn patch for the second crop of the year last year. They saved it from the grasshoppers, yep. And then the grubs that
hello, Janice.
if you get the tomato hornworm things or whatever, yeah, they'll go after all that. But I didn't know that until because I had never had ducks before we got them in Washington, and they were fun to have, but honestly, I'm not getting ducks here because they were so dirty.
Yeah.
And I don't have a pond.
Oh, Native Wild Man loves fishing. We're trying. Yeah,
Just
whether to go
right. Yeah.
That makes sense. Let's see.
But
Okay,
he did do a video for me on how to clean a fish, so that was helpful.
I haven't cleaned fish either. I cook it, but I don't clean it.
Yeah, I know how to cook it, but I don't know how to cut it and clean it and all that stuff that X used to do.
I did start planting basil with my tomatoes. When I was in Shed Wars, I picked up that tip from some channel at some point, and so I did do that. Even though I'm not a huge fan of basil, and it has to be in small increments. I know Bunky loves basil, but that's
I love basil. I don't care for tomatoes. I might grow one tomato plant, and most of that will probably go to the chickens because.
Oh, you're not a tomato person. My chickens love cucumbers for some reason, and kale. They love kale.
Watermelon rind. Oh, mine used to go crazy over that and spaghetti noodles. But
yeah, I want to try spaghetti squash. But I did not include that in my seed swap, so I would have to find that on my own somewhere. But it's possible I might be able to find it. So did you go to any meetups last year?
I think the only one I went to last year was the Homestead, Heartland Homestead meetup.
Homestead Heartland meetup.
Unless you count, when Jan and I get together.
Yeah.
But last year, yeah, I think the only one I went to is the Heartland Homestead one. And to be honest, I don't know about future meetups. I plan on going to Jan's meetup this year, but the other ones, it's harder to go with 2 dogs and no one to watch the dogs. So if I don't have someone to take care of the dogs for me, I'm just going to stay home.
Hi, Nancy, our treasured home. How are you? Head off, slit the belly to vent, scoop internals out, rinse. You're done. There's the quick version.
Yeah. Well, and I saw it on the boss's video, but I don't know. I guess I'm a hands-on kind of person. That's how I learned how to build.
Yeah, I think if you went with Jan and the boss, you could figure it out. Just go when they go, and then clean when they clean. And then
once I've done one, I'm sure it's not hard. I'm pretty smart, so I pick up on things pretty fast.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you could watch. I'm sure you could watch it once and pick it up. Hello, Planter Garden TV. Welcome in.
I mean, Papa Pepper's kids do it. So, if a 5-year-old can clean a fish, I know I can.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've never done it. I'm sure I could do it. I don't know. It's just one of those things I haven't picked up yet because I haven't been, I don't know. I just haven't, nobody showed me and I didn't get motivated enough to learn it, but it's there. It's there if I wanted to learn it, I guess. I'm sure I could clean one if I needed to, if I was hungry enough.
Well, and the same thing with, processing rabbits. I've been told over and over again, it's super easy. Yeah. So I know I could do it if I had to, but I'm not really in a situation where I have to eat rabbit meat, especially not my pets yet. So, so I haven't learned it.
There's a little truth. I don't like cleaning fish. That sounds about right. How far apart are you and Jan? Like miles or hours? How long does it take you to get to each other?
I think it's 3 hours. Jan can probably tell you because I haven't been up there in a long time. I think I only went up there once, didn't I? Did I go up there once or twice, Jan? I think it was only once.
So she's been there more because she goes there to help you, right?
Down here twice, and I went up there once. No, she might have come down here 3 times. I can't remember. They came down here first to help me put in change out the window panes when I first got the house. And then I think the only other time was when we did the rim joist. Yeah, about 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So she's about the same distance from me as Southern Blessed is like 2.5, 3 hours the other way. But
Jan's got all the answers. 3.5 hours once. And she's been there 3 times.
3 times. I can't remember what the other time was for. I remember we went
They're
to
usually helping you or bringing you something. When I see the videos, that seems like what they're usually there for.
What was the second time, Jan? Was
I
it?
thought it was more times than that, actually.
No, we just always live stream together.
Marco Polo.
No, well, Marco Polo, but I haven't really been on that. I have a second channel that I do the crafting on, and we've been on there a lot, and then on Steven's Live a lot.
What's your other channel?
Coffee and Crafts Required. That one I'm just doing more talking about personal stuff, like my son passing away, and then the diamond art. And
when did that happen?
Huh?
When did your son pass away?
New Year's Day this year.
New Year's Day?
Yeah.
My sister passed away in October.
It's not been. It was a shock. It was a shock, but it wasn't a shock because of his lifestyle. We knew that something was going to happen, and he had end-stage renal disease. So 35 years old and going to be on dialysis the rest of his life. And we knew he wasn't going to keep up on the dialysis, but I just didn't know he was going to pass that fast after the diagnosis. So, when you saw Sherry, oh yeah, they came up to bring the medal for Sherry. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a hard January for me, but in all honesty, it's like also a huge weight because I've been worrying about him for 20 years. So there was a huge weight that was also lifted too, because I know he's no longer struggling. So that was, but yeah, it's still raw to talk about.
So. It is, I know. And then the year before that, I had lost my best friend, Ashley. So it's
the year before this, I lost my mom.
It's like a year. She passed in December of 2020.
Yep.
2021. And then my sister passed in October of 2022. So it was almost like a year, a little bit less than a year, or a little over a year apart. No,
well,
less, a little bit less.
My mom, and she passed in December of 2020. And then I moved out here. And so I was still grieving that loss, plus the loss of, family and friends when I moved out here on my own. And then, it was Happy New Year. Your son's gone. So it was, yeah, pretty. I now have their ashes sitting side by side over here that I need to do something with.
Yeah. Well, we need to do that with my sisters too.
Yeah.
We won't talk about what we're going to do because there's a lot of people that like to tell you, oh, you can't do that or you can't do that. So I'm not going to bring that up because some people can't handle it. But we're going to do something, but we're not going to talk about what we're going to do because there's too many people. Well, I brought it up a couple of times and people are like, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm going to do stepping stones.
Yeah.
Because my fear right now is if this place caught on fire, like, what do you do? Save all the ashes, because our ashes are here. Like, what do you do? Save all the ashes from the house and hope that you got the ones that were your loved ones. So I figured if I put it in cement, then it's a stepping stone and it's like
stays there.
And I have a dog that passed away many years ago that I also have to do something with his ashes. So I'm gonna do stepping stones for all of them. That way I can walk all over them like I did.
Good idea. Are you gonna carve something on them, like an initial or a picture?
I'll do their names. I have the whole kit because my kids and grandkids all did stepping stones with their handprints in them. And we put their name and the date and all that stuff in them. So, but I have the little tiles that you push into the cement to spell out their names and stuff. So I'll do that
I
for all of
wouldn't
them.
mind doing something like that in the yard, just to
Yeah.
go from our back door to the shed, to have some stepping stones, and then just to engrave, even though I don't have the ashes of all of them. Some are buried in the cemetery.
Yeah, you could just put their name and the date,
Their name and the date of their
they
birth
have.
and date, birth and death date or whatever on there. Yeah.
Yep.
I
I
think
have all my
that's
kids, and then I have my oldest grandsons. When he was like 9 months old, we did his hand, foot, and his footprint in them. So I could start making a path of
I mean, I'd have
memorial path.
I'd have a pretty good stepping stone. All four grandparents, my father, my sister, my
Yep.
friend Ashley. I had a friend Mark that passed away. I mean, I've
Yeah,
been
you know, when you say it like that, I could do, and I have my mom's memory garden that I'm going to be doing the herb garden in. So I can make that like the pathway into her garden. That would be cool. Hi, Joy Bless.
I think she's kind of in and she's kind of out. But so tomorrow's video on my channel is going to be me showing the stuff I bought with the donations that I got for the homeless bags that I've been making up. So I did a video on that to show what I purchased with the $100 donation that I received. So,
oh, that's cool. And you're going to give it to homeless people?
Yeah, we went out. Right at Christmas time, and then we went out in January this last month, and we were going to go out in March, but because of the donation, we're going to actually get to go out in February. So we're putting like toiletries and snacks and stuff like that in there, stuff that they don't have to really cook. We did find out though that most of them live near a convenience store, so they can go in and microwave food. So, and the reason it's like a new thing for me is that when my sister passed away, we found out that she was homeless.
My son was homeless for 15 years. So that does my heart good to hear people doing that, because so many people look at the homeless and they go, ew, you know, where they're scared of them or whatever. And that's somebody's child or somebody's sister.
It was going to take I would have helped her if I would have known. I did not know. She had been in a rehab program, and I guess when she got out of that's over there in Colorado. When she finished with that, she was homeless. So we got some information like from one of her ex-boyfriends, and then we got some information from the people that there was like a soup kitchen there that she went to. She actually had a place where she could go and turn in her clothes to be washed. She had a locker. She had permission to stay in a tent by herself on someone's personal property, so she didn't have to live in one of those homeless camps. And we know she was reading her Bible. She had a Bible with her, mm-hmm. and her boyfriend said she would sit there and read her Bible, and she had a cross in her tent. We didn't actually get to see anything in her tent, but we told them just to take what was in her tent and what was her laundry and what was in her locker, unless it was jewelry. We said if it was jewelry or something she wrote, we wanted it. Otherwise, we wanted to just donate it back
to the homeless.
Back to the homeless people, yeah.
When my son passed, he actually passed in jail. But thankfully he was in jail, because otherwise he would have just died on a street corner somewhere and we'd have never known. So we knew immediately. But one of the things, you know, we had to go and have family go to the jail and pick up his personal effects when he was taken into the jail. And one of the things that they picked up was the Bible that I gave him when he was a kid. And he still had it 35 years, you know, later. He still was carrying that same Bible. And for a homeless person to still have something that wasn't left behind or, you know, lost was, because I've made him quilts and all kinds of stuff over the years, but all that was gone, but he still had his Bible. And that was one of the things he always told me when I talked to him is, read your Bible, Mom, read your Bible, Mom, read your Bible, Mom. So that was pretty cool that he still had that. My best friend is wife in the homeless ministry. Yeah, there is. And it's just, you know, my thought is, if you see a homeless person, and I'm not saying go and be their best friend or anything, because with my son, I couldn't be around him. He was violent and mentally ill, but so I had to love him from a distance. But he's somebody's family member, man. Whoever you're looking at, they're loved by somebody somewhere, and just be decent to them. That's all I
That
ask.
that woman or that man standing on the street with the homeless sign, God bless, please help. My sister had that sign in her backpack. Okay, it was folded in half. She had a marker in there. I didn't keep it. My brother has it, and so he has that. I have her bracelets that she had in her backpack. But my sister was crossing the road with her backpack and her 2 bags of food. So she had just gone somewhere. They had given her food. She was crossing the road, probably heading home to cook it, to eat. And someone ran her over in the street.
Wow. And I remember hearing that she was run over. I didn't know that she had passed, but I had heard that.
Yeah, she had a lot of extensive damage. She had some broken ribs, a broken leg, a broken pelvis. But what actually killed her, they actually went in on the side of her head and they tested something in there and they found out that she had a brainstem injury. So the only thing that's really comforting is I know she felt the initial pain, but when she fell back and hit her head, she was gone at that point.
And she didn't have.
She didn't feel any more pain after that. So we know it was just it was quick, and that's just that's comforting to me. And then like when my mom gets upset, I just tell her, just thank God she's not going to have any more cold winters living in Colorado, because Colorado was cold, man. Can you imagine trying to stay warm in Colorado in the winter? Go live somewhere where it's warm. But anyway, I was homeless several times when I was an addict. It was truly awful life to choose. Yes. I did not know that about you, Lori. I did not know that.
Well, I can tell you, Nisi, the number one, I was an insurance agent for 22 years, and I'll tell you the number one accident with a pedestrian is you're making a right-hand turn, you're looking for cars on the left and not looking for the pedestrian on the right.
Yeah, she wasn't turning. She was going straight, but she had a newborn baby in the back.
Oh, so she was distracted. Yeah.
Distracted driving, and she was very, very young. So, yeah.
That's awesome, Lori.
Oh, that's cool, Lori. I did not know that part of your story. It was very difficult for me to share that story. At first, I hesitated because my brother was on YouTube as well, and I did not want to tell the story and him to get upset about it. So when my brother left YouTube, I considered, okay, now it's my story. And I thought about it for a long time before I decided to share it. But I wanted to explain kind of my absence. And if I'm distracted and I've missed you or missed something, this is what I was going through. And I'm just trying to get back. And it took me a while to get back to doing lives or even having my face on the camera and talking to people.
Yep, because you're going to break down at any moment because of all the emotions.
Yes. Well, something you said a while ago, I almost when you were talking about your son, that brought up emotion. Like even watching TV shows, you don't realize how much those shows show stuff, but they do.
And I never talked about my son and his issues on my YouTube channel or my Facebook or anything, because I felt like that was his life, and I didn't want to do anything to deter him from getting the help that he needed. Or once he was getting help, because there's always that hope, I didn't want him to come back and think, oh, you said this or that. But my son was at the age of 20, he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. And what we dealt with for that 15 years was he was homeless. He would go to jail because he'd wind up hurting somebody because he thought that they were talking about him. And then he'd be forced to take medicine and he'd be doing great. And then they'd let him out on the street again. and he'd be homeless and he'd stop taking his medicine and he just did the spiral for 15 years. But in the end, it was, a lot of, he'd get out, be walking down the street, and some random person would be walking towards him on the street, just minding their own business. And his mind would tell him that that person was talking about his sister or his mom, and he would attack them and go back to jail. And that's what he did for 15 years. So we never knew, was he going to hurt somebody else or was he going to get hurt? A year and a half ago, he got stabbed in the neck because he attacked the wrong person. Yeah. So, it was just always a worry and a stress on your mind because you never knew where he was. He'd disappear for months at a time. And
we actually got happy when my sister would be in prison because we could actually write her letters. We could put money on the books for her. We could contact her. So
I knew where he was. I knew he wasn't hurting anybody.
I knew he was alive. I knew she was alive. However, her very last prison picture was terrible. I mean, I cried and cried. And I know when I saw her picture and one of her eyes was messed up, she had no makeup on and she was really skinny. But my sister had been addicted to meth. But in her possessions, there were no signs of drugs, alcohol, even cigarette smoking. There was nothing. She was completely clean. There was nothing, no signs of anything. She had completely cleaned up, as far as we know, all of it. She cleaned up on all of it. And she was trying to get her life back, and she was trying to get back here, is what we heard. She was trying to get back here to Abilene, and I would have gladly sent her a ticket.
But sometimes God takes them when they got it, when they finally got it together. He takes them home before anything else
happens. Yeah. Well, she did grow up in church, and she was quite close to God, like literally in her high school years, where I was a little more gray, standing on the fence, not really sure. My sister was full blown into it and was really close to God, like in her high school years. And then kind of went a little, and then she got married and she had a child. And then her husband wasn't always so nice to her. So she left him for his friend. And then it just kind of, and then I moved to Rhode Island and left her, and she kind of spiraled. And that's another guilt I have, is that I left and that she was okay when I left. And then she spiraled after I had gone.
Yeah, but we're not responsible. It was so hard for me as a parent to step back and know that my son is an adult and he's on his own path. I can't even get medical information on him anymore, right? So I had to step back and let him do his own path. And that is so hard as a parent, to stand back for 15 years and just let them make their own decisions. And I have to do that with my other adult kids, but they're making good decisions. So it's easy, Yeah. But when you have one that's not, it's so difficult.
Well, Jason, we have our own homeless ministry, my mom and I, where we go out and we take them bags of toiletries and food. So this is our own ministry that we're doing. So she gathers about 6 bags, and I gather about 6 bags, or however much we can afford or put together. And then we go out and we hand them out personally. And I had a really good, probably 30-minute or longer talk with one of them. And if my husband had been with me, I probably would have done an interview. And I might actually bring my tripod next time. And if I run into that person again, or someone I feel comfortable enough with, I might do an interview, because it was some very interesting things that he had to say, his points of view. But if I don't have the items with me, I will hand them money. And that's, if God tells me to give them money, I give them money, because though they may not do the right thing with it, my heart is good. And I did it in a good spirit of what they were going to do with it. So that's on them if they do something not good with it. I hope that they buy food or something they need, a new shirt. I mean, some new socks, whatever they need, a tarp to keep them warm, dry or whatever. But it's up to them what they do. Once if I get caught without it, I know how to identify them now, though. Normally, they're always very tan because they've spent a lot of time outside. Their shoes aren't in good condition. Their coat's not in good condition. They're carrying a backpack or a bedroll. Those are the signs. And So but I'm not going to judge the girl with the sign, because you know what? She could have left her stuff at camp.
Yeah.
And gone out there with only that sign, so I'm not going to judge. You can judge, but that could be someone else's brother or sister or dad or
Well,
mom.
and that's the other thing I wanted to say is pray for the homeless, but also pray for their family, because their family is also going through it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Well, it touches you when
Wow.
it's so close. It touches you when it's so close to home. And I live in a small town, like 5,000 people. So as far as I know, we used to have one that would be there, and he's not there anymore. So I don't know if he moved in with someone or passed away. I'm not really sure what happened there, but I actually go to my mom's city that's about 120,000 people, the town I grew up in, and we hand out the bags there in that city. So there's plenty, and they're easy to find. They're so easy to find. Matter of fact, we were in not Walmart, McDonald's one day eating, and the girl was sitting there, and I actually thought it was a guy because she had her head down and you couldn't really see any, signs of femininity at all. But anyway, I just kind of tapped her on the shoulder and handed her $10. I thought, well, she could buy her meal at McDonald's, or if she's already eaten, she could use it for the next day or later in that day, or to go to Walmart and buy some stuff that she needs or whatever. So,
yeah.
But that's me. And I feel that way because of what happened with my sister, but I can't do anything to help Gretchen, but I can do something to help somebody else's family member who's out there right now. And it isn't always that their family doesn't love them. They've had a fight, they've been through drugs, they've been kicked out of somewhere, they lost their job, they don't have enough. Some of them are even working. So,
yeah.
Now
I know they all have a story. They all have a family. They all have people who love them, even if they're loving them from a distance, like I had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone has a story, definitely. I personally have not come across any situation where I could have ended up that way. When my sister and I used to live together, sometimes she would not pay the rent so well. And so there's a few times there we could have ended up a little bit, but we still would have had a brother or a mom, to go stay with. So, but that's probably the closest I ever came to it. But after a while,
in my family, it was the opposite. I always had this stable house and environment, but my sisters and my brother, when they were homeless, would come stay with me. Yeah. So, but yeah, I could see where, 1 month off of work and I could have been in the same situation. It just never happened, thankfully.
What does that mean? She's asking her a question.
We were big supporters of our local shelter society for many years, and then they started encouraging dysphoria in teenagers instead of providing help, so we stepped back from them. I think she's asking what the dysphoria is.
Oh, dysphoria.
Encouraging teens to mutilate their bodies or take hormone-blocking drugs.
I don't know. I used to know the word parts. I know dys means bad, but I don't know what the phoria
She explains that dysphoria as in body dysphoria, encouraging teens to mutilate their bodies or take hormone-blocking drugs.
I'm sure she is making a good point. I don't personally know what it is, but I mean, when I think of mutilating, I think of the kids that cut themselves, they cut their arms and stuff like that. That's what I think about, self-mutilating, when they're cutting themselves because they're in pain about something, so they're causing their own self-harm. But I don't know about the hormone-blocking drugs. I don't know.
That's really interesting, Native Wild Man. That he says there was the awesome homeless person who lived in Wamego. He was rich, but nobody knew it until after he passed away.
Huh. Yeah.
I have a relative that lives, the last I heard, he lived in he's in Southern California in the mountains, and he's a contractor by day, making all kinds of money, but at night he drove back up to the mountains, and there was a cave that he built, like part of a front door and stuff out of the side of this cave, and he lived as a caveman, but he had a regular job and he was a contractor and making all kinds of money. He just prefers to live up in the mountains by himself, which I always thought was interesting because
yeah, that's different. It's not what we're used to, but
I couldn't do it. I enjoy my friends. I enjoy people. And the year and a half that I lived here with no internet was horrendous on me because I felt really disconnected. But it also made me rely on God a lot more. So
yeah, that's true. Are you working, Anne Marie?
No. I've had some opportunities, but I didn't do it because of my internet, and now I'm just too focused on trying to get my house done.
Do you have any hobbies outside of, regular homesteading stuff? You said you had a craft channel.
Oh my gosh,
I have to do on that.
Too many hobbies to list. I like oil painting, quilting, crocheting. Now I started doing diamond art, crafting of any kind.
Diamond painting.
I just started doing the diamond painting and I'm loving that. So I'm having a lot of fun with that, but mainly, like embroidery. I just like creating things. I like taking old yucky things and making them beautiful, like repurposing them and reusing them. And that's something I've done all my life. So, which is basically what I'm doing with this mobile home. but I like doing that on a smaller scale too. So yeah, I have a ton of hobbies. Oh, and she's gonna be
I like doing crafts too. Mostly paper crafts, but I like making like jewelry type stuff, like little stitch markers and stuff. Even though I don't crochet, I like to make them.
I used to make them
and then give them away.
Yeah, I do want to do jewelry and bookmarks.
Yeah, I would like to do bookmarks. I have the newest gadget that I want for crafting. It's like a hole punch sort of, but it's a fancy one that cuts through heavier stuff. And as it punches, it puts a little eyelet in that place. And then you can hang like a charm from it onto a craft. Like if you make a card or something or a bookmark, you can make an eyelet.
I'm gonna let her loose.
Okay.
Keep going.
She's checking on her dogs. So yeah, I understand what you mean now, Lori. I get it. Yeah.
She's just not used to being locked up during the day. So she's like, why are you putting me back in my crate?
Did you say you have chickens now?
I do not. I didn't want to get chickens until after I had a water source. So
my husband actually unhooked the hose on the back of the house because I think he thought it was going to freeze or something. Well, I can't get it back on there, so I have to keep lugging the water.
Well, imagine
I have a jug, and I've been lugging the water out and pouring it in there every day to get them water. But I've got to remember to ask him, hey, can you hook back up the water hose so I can water my chickens?
I am lugging it from my friend's house 17 miles away into the back of my car and then into the house and then, yeah. So I wasn't going to do it. I'm already doing it for dogs and cats and me. I'm not doing it for chickens too, not until.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, just for yourself is enough, I bet. And the dogs too. You and the dogs. Yeah, that's a lot already. So I know you're working on your kitchen. What are you going to work on next after that? What's your next plan?
So the plan here is I'm going to do the kitchen and the living area and then move, because right now I'm in the bedroom area. So then I'm going to move all the stuff in the bedroom area into that kitchen. So I'll just be living in that half of the house. And then I can come back and do my bathroom and the bedroom that I'm in now, it's already been sheetrocked and rewired and all that. But I have to build the other wall, add the door. I'll do the bathroom, and then the second bedroom will be like the very last thing that I do. But so the plan now is to finish off the kitchen and living area so that I can move all my stuff over to that side.
Yeah.
But I probably have like another year, a year and a half to finish this house, because I'm doing it as I'm trying not to go into any debt. Now I'll be going into debt for the well, but it's through a special trust company. So my payment will be like $61 a month, which is like a water bill. So then but I'm trying to do the rest of it just as I have money every month, and I'm on disability, so that's not much money. So
no, yeah, budget right there.
Just doing it as I go.
Yeah. Pretty much my only income. Well, my husband pays all the bills, and then the YouTube money that I make is my own money, my spending money. So obviously, I'm not rich because YouTube hasn't paid me for a couple of months. So I
usually get a check every other month from YouTube, but it's not much.
I was getting one every other month, but I officially now skipped 2 months, and I don't know how much longer it'll be. But the time I took off when my sister passed away, where I slowed down, my channel is I'm trying to recover from the dive of that. Every time you take a little time off, your channel dives. Well, if you do 3 8-minute videos a week, you're good. But if you can't do that, your channel is going to dive.
Yeah. And that's what's happened with mine. Thankfully, I had a lot of evergreen content that were like searchable titles. Mm-hmm. And that's what's kept me from getting a check. But over the last year, I think I've only uploaded maybe 6 or 7 videos, because first I had the internet issues, and then my computer took a dump. So from December until I think I uploaded something in December, but other than shorts, I haven't been able to upload anything because my computer wouldn't let me transfer the data from the SD card onto the computer. Mm-hmm. So now that I got that fixed, I should be able to edit all this video that I have and start putting stuff up again. But most of it's like footage from last year. So I'm just going to voice over and whatever. This is what I've done. But
well, one of my friends said, if you run out of content for your channel, just redo a video you did before. Like, say you've already done a recipe, you got a whole brand new set of people. If you got it, do it again. Because, well, I do have one recipe video I want to redo because the sound isn't good. And there was like stuff sitting in front of it because it was toward the beginning of my YouTube time. So I didn't realize they couldn't see what I was doing with my hands in the video. So I need to be more careful. But yeah, there's some videos I want to redo from the beginning that I think I could probably do a little better now, hopefully.
Let me tell anybody who's starting a channel that, YouTube will tell you, do these titles that make people want to click, like they're inquisitive, like what happened next or whatever. I personally hate those videos. I skip over them because I'm not one to do the clickbait stuff. And even news, when they're playing the news at 11, tune in at 11 to see this. That's what it reminds me of. And to me, that's just, I want to
when somebody says they're thinking of leaving YouTube, so you go to it to see if they're actually leaving YouTube. They never are. So I literally if they could be leaving YouTube and I wouldn't know because I won't click on that video because I fell for that.
And I unsubscribed
5 times.
Yeah.
After 5 times, I'm just like, okay, I know you're not leaving, so I'm not even watching it.
Well, and I would tell people that are starting out now that you want searchable titles. So there's a channel that I used to watch, and at the time I wasn't doing mobile home stuff, so I wasn't paying attention, but they did a lot of work on their mobile home, and I love this channel. They did a lot of work on their mobile home, and then I went back to see how they did something, and none of their titles are searchable. I have no clue. It's all vlog number 123 and vlog number 124. I have no idea which video it was where they did the kitchen or they did the bathroom or whatever. And so I'm not going to go back to that channel and watch all their videos over again, so they're not getting that evergreen content. People that are searching to find out how to do, electric or something aren't going to find it in that
Yeah,
video.
go back and tag your old videos. Even if you don't do the first 3 in the description box,
Even the
go
tagging.
to the other set of tags and tag them. Tag them.
Well, I tell people, if you want to do those little clickbait things where it says, and then this happened or whatever, or guess what happened to me today or something like that, that you want to get people to initially click on, go back later and rename them. And rename them something that when somebody's going to search for that information, like, how to get rid of hornworms or whatever, don't name it, oh, my garden got destroyed. Name it, this is, the solution, so that when people come back and search for it, you'll get new subscribers from just searching, that they're having a problem with ants in their garden or whatever. It doesn't have to be on building stuff. It could be on anything.
Yeah, like
make it a
my little video
title.
asking what henbit is. Now that I know what it is, I can go back to the tags and add henbit to,
or just retitle it,
tag it. And then now people who want to know what that is, or who see that and say, I have that too, they'll now know what it is. Yeah, or go back, change the title.
Just retitle it a new title, and then it'll start getting that. The tag. I was told that the tags don't work anymore. That the searches don't pick up the tags or the pound sign thing. That the AI isn't picking those up anymore. So I don't know, but I just know that.
You think focus more on a good title.
On the title, my title, I did a 3-minute video on how I found the VIN number on my mobile home, and apparently everybody else is looking for it too, because that's got a gazillion views and it still keeps getting views. And I just put it up there going, this is how I found mine.
And it's weird because something very obscure, very, kind of weird like that is the stuff that people want to see. What you think they want to see, but no, they want to know what the VIN number is. They want to know how you fix your hot water heater. How did you fix your hot water heater without the plumber for yourself? They want to know stuff like that. And that's why when my husband makes a video, I said, well, hand me the phone after you're done so I can tag it for you so people can find where you fix the water heater, instead of
Jesus is Lord. I am so fed up with the shorts on here. But
I rustic outdoors.
Yeah, I agree. And then you're supposed to go watch their video or whatever. But when you're on a PC and all these shorts are popping up, a lot of people are putting out content, on shorts to get people to come subscribe to their channel, which is great. I think that's a great idea. But I'm already subscribed to your channel. Why is it showing up in my subscriptions? And why do I have to scroll through the 10 shorts that one guy put out today to get to the real content that, I want to go see? So I wish to take it out of my subscription feed.
That's a good idea, because what most of the time on my shorts, it's not my regular viewers watching it. It's the other people. It's the people over in the Philippines or China or Japan who are watching those. I say when you're making a short, think about your audience is a teenage kid in another country. What would they be interested in? That's what you put out.
Or you do shorts. Like when I do the uploads for my videos, I plan to make little shorts on, this was the kitchen work that I did or whatever, and do a short on it, but not for my subscribers, but to bring more people in, because they see the short and then you want to go, oh, do you want to go see the full content? Go to this link.
Yeah, like a commercial for the full video.
Exactly. But
they make it don't want to go in and put that. They're making it harder for you to go into your description box of your short for that. But I can find it, but it just, it's not as easy as it used to be for that, because it used to let you put the information in right there.
Good night, Nisi. But yeah, no, I plan to use shorts in the future, but I'm not going to be putting out 10 of them a day. Let me tell you, I could spend 6 hours editing a video that's 20 minutes long, and I put it up and it gets 300 views. And I put out a short of my dogs eating grass outside and it gets 16,000 views in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck?
I know that, man. You're like, I'm putting up good content here, and you want to watch my dogs scratch around and eat grass in the yard.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, that doesn't have anything to do with my channel, but okay. So I need to do
both
in a better way, but
I try to do the good content and do the shorts. I try to just cover all the basis of everything because that still helps you, and I think you still get, it still brings up your view count, even though you don't get watch hours for it. I think it still brings up that number. You know what I mean?
but it doesn't help with the ad, or now it helps with the ads some, but you have to get so many views on it or whatever. And for me, I'm just going to use the shorts to bring more people in that are interested in the content that I'm putting on my channel, not the dogs eating grass. So
it's
draw the line at Minecraft for the teens. Yeah, exactly. Huh?
Yeah. Well, that, that's not all of that gets it. But I mean, I'm saying if you get these random weird comments from your shorts and that they're teenagers. So
hang on. I got to go find the puppy. I'll be right back. Come on, out. Hazy. Come on, Papa.
Want to go do something with their dogs. Yeah, people like weird stuff. Totally. What you think is the worst short you've ever made is probably the one that does the best, and you're like, oh
yeah, it was the dogs eating grass outside.
I know, like my cats laying on the bed hugging each other, that's 13,000 views.
Yeah.
And 20 new subscribers, and you're like,
maybe I should do those on my other channel. And then get
I just do them. I got to where now I do them on either channel. The craft channel, the craft and coupon channel, or the homestead channel. I just do them on. I just mix it. And it's funny how it'll put it out. It could be almost the same short, and it'll put it out more from here than from there. That's just insane how it does that. Yeah. And I asked Jan if she had a question that I should ask you, and she said she wanted to ask you if you miss Washington. Do you miss Washington? No.
I miss California. I miss the Sierras. But no, I don't miss Washington. I miss my sister in Washington. Yeah. But I don't want to go back there to visit her.
Yeah.
I want her to come out here to visit me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You think she will?
She may someday, but no, she's working full time and she's in the same situation as me. She's got 4 animals there that she's trying to take care of on her own now because I'm not there. So it worked out better when we lived on the same land. One of us could take off for the weekend. But hi, Texas lady. But no, she for her to get away would be really difficult also. So.
You said earlier that it's hard for you to travel because you have your dogs. Do you have any plans for traveling at this time?
I'm going to go to the meetup that Jan's doing in Missouri, and I hope to go to the Kentucky meetup. But like I said, I have to I need to find a place to board my animals while I'm gone. And no, the dog's name is not Coco, it's Maisie. The puppy is Maisie and the other one is Jilly. Because one's a silly dilly and the other one's a corny dog.
Corny dog. Anne Marie, do you have a question for me?
Was I supposed to have one?
I know. I'm
going to this year. That way I can coordinate and make sure I go to the same one because I haven't seen you since.
I know. I would love to go to Jan's. I would love to go to that one.
I'm trying to think of which meetup I went to that you were at. Was that the
Pryor, Oklahoma?
Pryor, Oklahoma. Was that the only one?
That was the only one I've been to. That was
right after I moved here almost 2 years
ago, right?
Yeah, 2 years.
Yep. We said that we weren't going to go anywhere this year because daughter was graduating. So it's probably going to be next year.
Okay.
Because we're, looking at graduation gift, and if she has any surprise, I need a dress or I need a whatever. We just want to not have our money tied up in traveling.
Well, you just have to do that. No grocery shopping for a month like I did.
Oh yeah, I think that would do it.
You save a ton of money. I'm surprised at how much food I had here because I could still go a couple more months.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I watched that video where you were talking about doing the grocery store challenge for December, and I do want to set up to do that because, well, I did go through the pantry and do like an inventory, and I found some cans that I needed to use right now, and I actually even threw a couple of cans away, but not more than like 2 or 3 cans. And then there's a few things I thought, well, they're a little bit close, but I can just open it up and give it to the chickens. At least somebody got a little bit of use out of it, so.
Well, mine was, I did it at the wrong time. So I want to do it again this summer. But I did mine at the wrong time because I did it in December. And then in January, I was stuck here because I can't get out when it snows or it ices.
Yeah.
And so I had used up a lot of the stuff in my stores. And I couldn't get to the store to get more. So I I still had plenty of food. I just was low on some things that I wish I would have had. So I want to do it again. And then in the summertime, I also want to start stocking for the winter so that, just buy a couple of extra cans here and there. I don't do a lot of canned food, but, like beans and.
Beans, definitely.
I think I only buy beans and corn, different kinds of beans and
tomatoes.
corn.
I buy, I do, if I get enough tomatoes, I will can them. But I do like to have some, I already used everything that I had stored in the freezer. I already used all those tomatoes up. So I still have to have cans for like soup and stuff like that.
I'm talking about buying from the store in can. Right now, I can't do canning because I don't have my oven installed yet or my stove. But I plan to, so for in the future. But so I buy canned beans and I buy canned corn right now. And I don't think I'll ever grow corn here. I don't eat it that often. There's not that much nutrients in it. So, but no, as far as canning stuff, I can't wait to start canning again.
I'm going to try pickles this summer. This will be my first time to do pickles. So I have a pressure canner. I have a water bath canner. So my goal is to try to do some canning. And a lot of people do their canning in the winter, and I kind of raise my eyebrows like, what? Because it seemed like you would be canning in the summer when you have like all that stuff. But I think they do a 2-step thing where they put it in the freezer and then can
it. Freeze it first and then can it later. And that makes sense as far as keeping your house warm in the winter.
However, I'm a do it once and not do it again kind of person. So once I get 1 year, we just we got the tomatoes ready and we put them in freezer bags and froze it, and then we used out of the freezer because I don't know why we decided to do it that way. I think we decided there wasn't enough.
I prefer frozen vegetables over canned vegetables any day, just for the taste. But
definitely,
you can only store so much in the freezer, so. That would be my plan, is to freeze as much as I can and then can what doesn't fit in the freezer to be used after the stuff in the freezer is used up. But I can't wait to get back to doing that stuff, but I have to have a kitchen first. So I haven't been able to can anything since I left California.
Canning involves water, and water's a problem for you, right?
Well, and not having a kitchen, so I
is that why you're wearing your hair like this too? Does that have to do with the water situation too? Is that it makes it easier for working?
No, I'm just lazy, and I don't have to brush it anymore.
Well, so, you see the ponytail, but
I know this is all in the tiny braids, but yeah, I don't have the time and the energy, it's one more thing I don't have to deal with. If I don't have to deal with my hair, I have more time to work on the house and do other
Yeah, I
stuff.
know.
So
I mean,
yeah,
how long have you been working on your house now?
it was delivered a year ago, August, so a little over a year.
A little over a year. Why does it seem like longer?
I know, huh?
It's like
No,
long.
it just got here this last August. It was a year, but I had to do some major stuff first, like the electrical to it, and then take care of some windows that were broken and the hole in the bathroom floor and stuff like that. So, and again, I'm just doing it as I have the money too. So right now I have the subfloor and the 2x4s, so I could finish framing in the windows and do the subfloor in the kitchen. And then hopefully next month I can go buy the kitchen cabinets. But I already have this stove, so I could hook up the stove. Once I get the floor done, I could bring the stove in and hook it up and have a working stove, which is going to be huge because I haven't had one since we moved to my sister's property in 2018, since I
Wow.
started my YouTube channel. So it'll
Wow.
just be really nice to have a kitchen again.
Yeah.
But I also have the well going in, and I have to have $6,000 sitting in the bank in order to even, hopefully I don't have to use that money, but I have to have it sitting in the bank to show that I could pay it if it goes over the amount that they'll loan. So,
Well, earlier before we started, you were talking about how you were cooking your food right now with your kitchen like that. So just so they can hear, can you tell them what you're cooking out of right now?
I have an Instant Pot. It's the same way I've been cooking for the last 5 years. I have an Instant Pot. I have a air fryer. I have an induction burner, a microwave, which I rarely use, and then I also have a Blackstone. Huh?
Induction burner, is that just like the burner that you plug in?
Yeah, and then you use a metal magnetic. It works off of magnetic, so it cooks food a whole lot faster. It heats up a whole lot faster. But I had a little 2-burner thing that you plug in. It was like a little electric hot plate, but that thing was a piece of junk. So then I got the induction burner, and that thing works wonderfully. But you only have the one burner, so
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah. If you were going to make something like stew, but of course you could do that in a crock pot. So
Stew goes in the Instant Pot. All my soups I make in the Instant Pot. The only thing I really make on the induction burner is biscuits and gravy. I've been eating a lot of biscuits and gravy lately, which is probably going to slow me down come spring because I got this big old fat belly now. But it's such a cheap, easy meal to make. So I just do that on the stovetop, and then I do the biscuits inside the air fryer, and super fast, super easy.
In the air fryer. I need to try that.
Oh yeah, you can bread. You can do a lot of stuff. I have the Kasori air fryer, so I do my steak in the air fryer now because it's winter time and I don't want to go outside and cook in the rain.
In the cold, yeah.
But
yep, I'm hoping it'll warm up soon, and I'm looking forward to planting. I have a few things under the grow light, not too much. I've had the best success with tomatoes under the grow light. So I did some tomatoes, and then I did some marigold flowers because I want them to be already partially grown when I put my squash in. That way they'll be there to protect with their lovely smell, which I don't mind.
And that's what I plan on doing in those raised cinder blocks is in the outside cinder blocks, I can plant like the marigolds and the lavender, basil, stuff like that in the cinder block itself, and then I can have the vegetables or whatever growing inside.
I do a little bit of cinder block growing. I just have some little pieces and parts of different cinder blocks. Some are whole and some are kind of cracked and messed up on one side, so I just use the one side. But so I do a little bit of that out there, and then I have a tire garden too. So I have everything. I have raised planters that are waist high. I have raised beds, and I have pots and totes I grow in, and also tires and stuff like that. So I've got a big, huge combo of different things.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out something for the trees because I want the fruit trees in the ground, but there's so many huge boulders out there that I don't know. I might have to raise up the ground in order to plant the trees.
Yeah,
So
I love my planters that I bought at Tractor Supply, I think it was. They were on sale. It was like after the growing season. We bought them like in the fall and then didn't use them again until the spring. But that gave me all through the fall and winter to fill them up.
Are they plastic or metal or?
They're wood. They're wood.
Okay. See, I didn't want to do wood because I didn't want the rot, over the years. I was trying to think like years down. So that's why I did the cinder block for the ones that are sitting on the ground.
But one little spot, and technically we could actually just put nail a piece of wood over that part, kind of just add to it a little bit. So I think I will have my husband repair that piece, but I think a few little pieces of wood, it won't look as pretty, but I could always go back and repaint them after he does it so that it's kind of cohesive and also keeps the wood preserved.
Yeah, and I've heard some people do plastic lining.
That one broke down, so that one's going to actually get taken out of the yard now. But that was a desk I was growing in.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's actually been breaking down because it wasn't really good wood, so it actually needs to be hauled off now. But no, I don't grow in it anymore. But I just had mint growing in there.
Yeah, I have a dehydrator in storage also. Oh. My whole life has been in storage the last 18 months, so I want to
start getting
my stuff out. I purchased my stove in 2018 and have never used it. It's still brand new, never been hooked up. So,
wow.
My dogs are cuckoo. Lemon tea, yes. I plan on planting a whole tea and herb garden out here for my mom because
I hope to be successful with my lemon balm this year because I would really like to use that for a few things. So we're going to give the lemon balm a real shot this year. So hopefully we're successful with that.
I think a lot of what I'll be planting is herbs, medicinal herbs, stuff like that, because I don't do the Western pharmaceutical crap. And so a lot of what I plan on planting here is herbs, tea, garden stuff, stuff for teas and herbs, medicinal herbs, and then whatever fruits and vegetables I know that I'll eat. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of it there will be a lot more herbs than there will be fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, I like to grow herbs too. And then,
that's what I want to learn native wildman, and I have a bunch of books here on it, but I want to learn more about that. And each plant to have a purpose, the same as the animals have a purpose. So I want, in the past, I always did a lot of, pretty flowers or whatever, but you could still have pretty flowers, but those flowers have a purpose in the garden.
Yeah, I grow zinnias, but I grow them to draw the bees because the bees like the zinnias. So they're pretty. And you can also cut them and use them as cut flowers if you want to bring them inside just to make your house look pretty, and they last.
Zinnia a lot in California.
Yeah, and there's so many colors, and when you cut them, they last the longest of all the other flowers, in my opinion. So that's why I like zinnias, and so I grow a lot of them. But I didn't have a good gardening year last year. Even my zinnias didn't grow. First the hail killed them, and then the drought, and then all the, triple-digit temperatures. I was like, this year though, I decided how I'm going to combat that is before everything starts. I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to have a collaboration, and I'm going to have other people join in. #bless your garden, and you're going to either walk around your garden and you're going to bless all your growing areas, or you're going to sit down in the middle of the garden and you're just going to pray over your garden because
That might be the only way to
obviously,
survive.
obviously, all the bad weather's going to go around my yard because I'm blessed in my garden, no matter what. And you know, all that labor I put into it, and I just need to say, hey, you know, you're the reason I want to grow this. I want to grow healthy food for my family, and I'm just going to tell them all that and say, hey, you know, you're the reason I want to grow this, and you know, and so I'm just going to go through it all with them, and I'm going to write out a whole prayer, and then I'm going to ask other people to join in and pray for their garden. So you know, because it seems like,
well, when you're doing that, pray that I get to have a garden this year.
yeah, that would be good too, because I think, yes, last year was my bad gardening year, which means hopefully I'm due for a good gardening season.
Yeah.
And but unfortunately, that may mean someone else has a bad gardening season. But that's why I'm going to invite everybody. And I actually checked the hashtag, and nobody has used it. Hashtag bless your garden. Nobody has used that. So I'm going to pull that out in April and make a video and make my video. And then I'm going to invite everybody to join in on the hashtag. And that'll remind people to pray for their garden so that it will grow and bring them lots of food that they can and put up for their family.
I figure my first year gardening here is going to be good because none of the bugs know I exist out here yet. Like, this was raw land and no one had been here. So
yeah, I think so
there's
too.
no, you know,
yeah, I mean,
or anything like that. They haven't found it.
Most successful garden I ever had was in Abilene, Texas, my hometown. And it was a gated area where a dog had been gated in. And
so it's all fertilized.
It was fertilized, and it had been not used. That dog had not been there in a few years when we moved there, so it was just all in there. And so and then we had a really good rain that year too. So I had tomato plants that were almost as tall as me. I had bunches of jalapenos and tomatillos and zucchini. I was giving away bowls to the neighbors and the family and everybody. I had to beg people to take the vegetables. It was like that year. And my dad was like, wow, you know, talk about lucky first year, because he came, I was working. Where was I? I was working somewhere in the medical field, and my father came while I was at work and plowed out my garden for me because I had told him where I wanted it, and he knew I didn't have a tiller, so he came and did that while I was at work. And I came home and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool!" So all I had to do was sit down at where he had tilled and just pull out all the, you know, the grass and different stuff out of there. And I had a beautiful garden. I wish I could find pictures of that. It was just massive. And yeah, I think the extra fertilizer was definitely, and that it was also kind of like virgin ground and it had not been planted in.
Nothing had depleted all the nutrients in it yet.
Because that crop rotation thing is real. And at the time, I did not know very much about amending soil. Those are things I've really learned a lot. I learned some from my dad, but I've learned a lot on YouTube. And I'm still not going to talk as smart as Jason Avers with Green Country Agroforester, but I would say up here there's some information that I've learned.
Well, and I did. I learned a lot. So I planted a garden back in California, and this is back in 2004, 2005. And I had joined this community online called Dave's Garden. And I learned so much from those ladies, not just flower garden, but vegetable gardens, all that stuff from that community. Well, those same people, we wound up hooking up on Facebook after Dave's Garden changed. And I still learn tons from them. In fact, one of the ladies that I've been following for 25 years, I had no idea lived in Arkansas, and she only lives like an hour and a half away from me. But we've been friends for 25 years and have never met. We just learned online. But she has such a vast amount of knowledge for gardening, and she grows for the farmer's market, and then she grows flowers for the flower market, and just I can learn so much from her. And but I have to, like I said, I have to relearn a lot of that because a lot of it's just kind of leaked out. I haven't gardened in 4 years.
Yeah, you can go. I mean, well, searchable titles. If people have searched it, or people go to their gardening playlist or their Shed Wars playlist and check out to see what they grew, how they grew it, and what
Well,
I don't think you're going to have to worry about a lot of amending this year because, like I said, your soil is so new. But later you'll have to maybe go
I need to put some manure in it, and because it's just
I do want to buy some manure myself because the year I did really, really good with the gardening, I did someone had given me some and then I bought some. So I do want to get some of that. I have been using the chicken manure, but I would like to add the cow manure on.
Sharon, hello. That's my aunt who's moving up here in four weeks. I'm counting down the days, Aunt Sharon. She said, been listening for a while, but couldn't message. See you soon. I cannot wait for her.
Oh, yeah. I have it set for you have to be on the live a little while.
Oh, yeah. You have to be subscribed.
I apologize for that, Sharon. But there's just some trolls that have been going around. So I've had it set up on subscriber only mode in my lives for I don't know 5 or 6 months.
Trolls. I do the same thing.
Well, I had a flasher come up on mine, so.
Oh yeah, I had that. My first live stream I ever did years ago.
Yeah, mine was about 5 months ago. So
you'll be here in 2 weeks. I thought you were coming out mid-March. That means you'll be here for my birthday. We'll have to go to dinner. She's actually moving like an hour away from me, and this will be the first time in my adult life that I'll live within an hour of her. I can go visit her all the time. It'll be awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, somebody mentioned Abilene. I don't actually live in Abilene anymore, but I do go visit there every.
That was Texas lady.
Yeah, Texas lady. Hello, Jules Trucker. How are you?
To help a person.
Birthday. Oh, thank you. My birthday was a couple of weeks ago, but yeah.
And my birthday's coming up. I'm a big.
Oh, your birthday. Okay, let's talk about your birthday. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess we have the same birthday month. We have the same birthday month then, because I thought he was talking to me first. I was like,
is your birthday in March?
No, February. My birthday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine's the first week of March.
Yeah, my husband
around March 13th. She'll be here right after my birthday, but.
Yeah, my husband's birthday is the first week of March too. But Garden State Gardener is doing his Sunday Fun Day live tonight at 6 p.m. And I think if you go over there, if you plan to go over there, if you go over there right now, if you haven't registered, he might still put you on the wheel if you go on there and register real quick if you're not registered yet. But I did notice it this week and I did go on and register. So hopefully I can win some seeds. So
he has a separate video for that, huh? I haven't seen his
Sunday registration video. Yeah, it should be within the last 2 videos he's posted. But yeah, I'll be going over there. He'll be starting in about 12 minutes. So that's why I actually do my lives on Sundays at 4 because I don't want to conflict with Joe's Sunday Fun Day live. So that way a lot of people in my community also are in his community. So I try not to conflict with his live for that reason. But I probably need to get off here and maybe figure out what I'm going to make for dinner real quick.
Our live stream. I'm like surprised we've been talking for 2 hours.
I know. I planned on an hour, but you and I haven't talked to each other in a while. So
I know. I was like, nervous, and now I'm looking down, going, "Wow, 2 hours passed."
We went really long here. So, but yeah, that happens when you're in good company. You talk for a while, and it doesn't seem like that long. So
exactly,
it's nice catching up with you, Anne Marie, and I will have her link is in the description box. If you guys aren't subscribed to Big Dreams Tiny Budget, her link is in the description box. You can check out that when we're done here and go by and give her a new friend and check out her videos on redoing her mobile home out there. So
yeah, creating a homestead from raw land.
Raw land. Yep, that's awesome. I have to go check out some more of your videos to see what you have. I need to get caught up to see
I
what
haven't uploaded much
you
because
haven't, but I probably still haven't even seen like the last, I haven't seen any.
the last 6.
Yeah, I probably haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen.
Because
I
that's
haven't.
not all I put up over the last year.
That's what happens. We lose touch and then we reconnect. That's YouTube. We lose a friend for a while. We gain the friend back
Well,
after a while.
can't
It's
watch everybody's videos all the time. There's just too many people. All right, Aunt Sharon, thanks for stopping in.
Yes, thank you, Sharon, for coming by.
But yeah, you can't. There's so many people out there. I have to pick and choose which videos I watch, but I try to at least hit some every once in a while. But there's so many channels out there. I think
I have a new thing I've been doing where I go on my phone. I go to the very bottom of my comments to the oldest comment, and I do every other day. I do the craft channel one day. I do the homesteading channel the next day, and I do it every other day. I go to the bottom. I go and watch their video first. I watch one of their videos. I come back, then I make a comment on their video, and then it goes away, right? And so I do, and then I go to the next one, and I work as many as I can during the day while I'm doing my other things. I'm listening to the video, maybe not always watching, but listening and making a comment, of course. Then I comment on theirs, and it goes away, and I go to the next person, and I keep doing that. And I've been doing that for a while now to watch the videos of the people who are watching my videos. So
I'm learning that because I was always afraid to have somebody else's video playing in the background while I was videoing. But now my plan is to just do voiceovers, which means I could be watching on my phone while I'm working and, have somebody on play and watching so I can keep up with more channels that way.
Yeah.
Because now I'm just going to do a voiceover on what I'm doing on the and I don't have to worry about the background noise or anything anymore.
Well, if you have it on a pretty low volume, but it's still on, sometimes it won't pick up the noise because sometimes I'll have it in the dining room, and if I'm making a video in the kitchen, I can't hear it. I've checked it just to see, but of course, you might not have. I don't know how many.
And I watch a lot of building channels too, and so just trying to keep up on everything has just been, you only have so much time. But now, if I can watch them while I'm in there working at the same time, it just gives me more time during the day to watch people.
Yeah. Well, I think that helps with my guilt of the channels. Now they may come and watch 3 before I watch their 1 because I just watched the one video, but at least I'm watching the ones that are there for me. So, and
I try to catch your live streams as often as I can.
Yeah, and that helps. That definitely helps, because when you're off of YouTube for a while, they stop sharing you out as much. So I was also trying to work back to my live streams being pushed out, and I had to go and ask people, hey, share my live. And I know they get tired of me asking that, but it was because I was trying to get my live stream shared back out again to where, YouTube would start to like me again instead of hate me. So, but I think it's better. Like we had quite a few on here, not right now because we just said we're about to leave, but yeah, we had quite a few that came in here, and while I'm on my live, I also asked to share, and I didn't always used to do that, but I do that now just to try to help the person who's on the live to maybe gain a few new friends. Welcome in our new land. We're about to leave though. And if I have a moderator that could put up the link for Sunday Fun Day.
I have it here, but I don't know if I'm a moderator or not. Let's see, where did he go? I just had it. What is this doing?
I thought I made you one last week. If you'll make a comment in the chat, I can make you one.
Hang on a second. Let me go find this first. Close that.
I could probably do it too.
Okay, here's the link. Copy. And now I got to go back to your channel, which was just right here. Oh, I am a moderator. Okay, here's the Sunday Fun Day. I didn't type anything, but there's the link to it.
Sunday Fun Day will be starting in T minus 5 minutes. So if you
Yeah.
click on the link to go check out Sunday Fun Day, and we'll try to win seeds or yarn or whatever he's got going on there. Sometimes he gives away other stuff, grow lights, and who
I
knows.
need more yarn because now I'm getting back into crocheting, although my hands, I have arthritis in my hands and I'm learning that that's kind of, I'm out of shape. My hands are out of shape.
Oh,
Anyhow,
yeah.
I'm going to say goodbye so I can go get something to eat before his live stream starts. So
You too.
thank you for having me on
Thank
here.
you for coming on. Nice catching up with you.
Yeah. And I'll see you guys later.
Bye, Anne Marie. Thank you guys all for coming out, and thank you guys who shared the live. I appreciate it. I'm going to go over to Sunday Fun Day and listen to him while I am making dinner. So thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate all of you. Bye, guys.